Hi, I'm James Baker, founder of James Baker and Associates and international tax expert slash entrepreneur. And this clip you're about to see is from our last Ask Me Anything. If you want to ask me some questions, I come on live Wednesdays and Thursdays as much as I can. You can join with the link in the description below. I'd love to see you there, but let's get to the clip.
Is there a tax treaty from the IRS for Pakistani citizens having business in the U.S.? That's a great question. Let's look at the U.S. tax treaties. I'm going to share my screen on this one. And let's go through it a little bit. So you can see the U.S. tax treaties here, U.S. IRS tax treaty list. And you can only use the tax treaties if you have a U.S. business, if you're a U.S. taxpayer. If you're a Pakistani person with an LLC and you're not paying U.S. taxes, you can't use the treaty. And you can see all of the treaties on the IRS website. It's right here, income tax treaties A to Z. Let's go down to P and check out our friends in Pakistan. We do have a Pakistan treaty. Cool. I don't know about all the treaties. It was signed in 1957. Beautiful. Let's check it out. And generally, the treaties are most commonly referred to define who's doing business where. So if you're a Pakistani person and you come to the U.S. for an assignment, you can see whether you did the permanent establishment. So a Pakistan enterprise shall not be subject to U.S. taxes in respect of its industrial or commercial profits unless it's engaged in a trade or business through a permanent establishment. And then it goes through, it's not very much detail in this one. Usually they have a technical treaty as well, but that's fine, whatever. So the rate of, and then the big ones that people refer to the most here, permanent establishment, and that's when you have a Pakistani company who sends employees to the U.S. to do some kind of work, and this defines, like, the treaty helps you define what they're doing. Permanent establishment, aka does the Pakistani company have to pay taxes in the U.S.? And there's a mechanism. I mean, it's not used as much, but there's a mechanism to have your position evaluated by the different. There's like an international board or something that reviews treaty positions. So if you outline it all and you send it to them, they will give you a ruling on your position. It takes a while and you have to pay for it. But for bigger businesses, it's useful. For most people here watching this, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter at all. The real things here are the dividends, royalties, and potentially pensions. So if you are, like, if you're a Pakistani who did a visa in the U.S. and you have a pension and then you go back to Pakistan, this will explain how that's treated. If you are Pakistani investing in the U.S. stock market and you want to get less withholdings on your dividends, that's potentially possible here. I'm not going to go through too much of it, but it looks like, yeah, so, the rate of U.S. tax on dividends paid by the United States Corp to a Pakistani company, if you own more than 50%, the dividend rate will not exceed 15%. So, and they're really confusing the way that they're worded, and they're very specific. Like, the question was from here. The question was, is there a tax exemption treaty? Yeah, so I think the answer to the question is, not the answer, it's not really a question at all. The answer to the question is yes, there is a treaty. The answer to question 2, what is the treaty used for? And the treaty is used to have a clear explanation of what happens when a Pakistani and U.S. companies, when a Pakistani company does business in the U.S. or when a Pakistani person has assets or stuff in the U.S. or vice versa. So for most people, the treaties don't apply. Most of my clients are using LLCs and the Pakistanis are not paying U.S. taxes, so they're not really able to use the treaty. It's only when they have U.S., like, it's not going to apply that often. If you have a real question about, like, how to apply the treaty to your specific circumstances, we can review that. But I was just interested in talking about this a little bit more, which is why I went into more detail about how the treaties work and what the treaties are, instead of just answering your question. Yes, there is a treaty.